Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while, but I'm back with a review for Madame Web. So recently Madame Web was #1 on Netflix, and a lot of people didn't see it in the movie theaters, but they saw it on Netflix, and I'm one of those people. I finally got around to checking it out, and yeah, so it's not very good, but it's not terrible. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be, but it's got a lot of problems, and we'll go ahead and get into that in my review. But before we get started, be sure to hit the thumbs up button if you like the video, and subscribe to the channel for more content, Marvel videos. I'm doing the Godzilla, Monsterverse, King Kong movies right now, so be sure to stick to the channel and check those reviews out. So let's get into my review for Madame Web. So the movie opens up with Cassandra Webb's mom in the jungle. I want to say Peru. She's researching a spider that will heal her unborn baby. But then this guy that she hired kills her and then steals the spider. But then the spider people of the tribe, they heal her with the spider. So it's very confusing and crazy. Everything to do with these jungle spider people makes zero sense. It's never explained. And this is like, in the past, like, and then we jump forward and Cassandra Webb's like a grown woman in her like 30s, maybe late 20s, I don't know. But it's like 30 years later, the spider guy's like, I will be waiting for her when she comes back. 30 years later, I will be here. And then also the guy that stole the spider, maybe the spider doesn't age you, like you don't age as fast because he's running around, and then he's having visions of these 3 young girls killing him in the future, another like 20 years in the future or something. It's very crazy. The timeline doesn't make any sense. But anyway, we get Cassandra Webb, aka Cassie, played by Dakota Johnson, who I like. She's an okay actress. 50 Shades of Grey aside, she's been decent in some other films that I like. Yeah, she showed up to set. To be fair, a lot of her dialogue is absolutely terrible, like the barbecue scene where she's like telling him he's burning the burgers. It's so bad, it's actually kind of hilarious that I love it. Yeah, and then the girls, they're not doing any better. You have, I don't know who Maddie Franklin, the actress playing Maddie Franklin, is, but I am familiar with the other 2 actresses, Sydney Sweeney from first season of White Lotus and Euphoria. And to be fair, she's kind of just doing a variation of the same thing, but she's fine. And then you have Isabella Merced, who was like Dora the Explorer in the live-action Dora. She's also not given anything. So these 3 girls aren't given anything to do. The only one that kind of has a personality is Maddie Franklin. She got a little spunk and sass to her, which I like. But the other 2 are just like a wet blanket. They don't do anything. They have no like emotions. They're pretty bad actually. So these 3 teenage girls, they're not well written. The actresses are trying to do something, but it's not working. And then you throw in Cassandra Webb in there, and then you just got like a wet blanket group of women that are just like not fun. They're boring and emotionless. But maybe that's why they bond so easily together. I don't know. But so the girls, they bond real easily with like Cassandra Webb. Like she teaches them CPR, and they reminisce about their crappy parents and childhoods, and all of a sudden they're BFFs. It's terrible. The villain's storyline makes no sense. He keeps having these dreams that these girls are going to kill him. Why does he think they're prophetic dreams? I don't know. So he needs to kill them before they kill him 20 years in the future. That makes zero sense. I mean, I guess he doesn't know when they're going to kill him. But they do say, like, it's like, years and years and years away, like decades or something. Because the lady, his, like, sidekick, has to, like, de-age them and figure out who they are now. And they're teenagers. And even she's like, they're teenagers. He's like, but they will kill me. And it's terrible. The idea, I think the concept of Madame Web is kind of interesting. Like, he's, like, this Terminator guy that wants to, like, going out and get them. Like, maybe if he was, like, from the future and wants to kill them in the past, that would maybe been cooler. And Cassandra Webb's, like, one step ahead because of her powers. Like, that, it was a cool concept. That just was there was they just all that's all they had was a concept. They had no motivations, no motives, no personality, no anything that makes sense, no plot. So and then yeah, the poor actor, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are, haven't seen you anything, but his dialogue is terrible, and then the overdubbed ADR is even worse. And it's so bad. It's so bad. And I feel bad for that poor actor because I'm sure he's great in something else, but he is miscast or whatever, misdirected, something in this movie because it's just not working. Dakota Johnson actually gets a couple of moments that are not bad. The moment where she's, kind of talking to her mom in the past, like learning what her mom actually went through and that her mom did actually care about her and sacrificed her life to make sure that Cassie was born without a disease. And, Dakota Johnson's crying. Like that scene worked. That's kind of more of what the movie needed, though, was this emotional thing. And that scene works. And I think some of Dakota Johnson's humor works a little bit. Like I like the part where she's like, "Oh, you're the EMT that, saved my stepmom, but was really weird about it." And then she's like, "Yeah, that sounds like me." Like, so there's little moments here and there, but overall, Cassie Webb's not a very likable character. These girls aren't likable. The villain is terrible. And then you have this weird background thing going on with Ben Parker and Peter Parker's mom, Mary, who is pregnant with baby Peter, and she's gonna go give birth. So you have all that going on in the background, just to be like, wink, wink. This is the Spider-Man verse, wink, wink. But we don't have Spider-Man, but he's gonna be born, and this is his Uncle Ben. And Adam Scott's great. I love Adam Scott. So he does. I don't know why he's in this movie. He does great. Emma Roberts is Mary Parker. Why is she in this movie? It feels like they had a bigger storyline for the two of them, and that's why they got those actors. And then it just feels like a lot of stuff was just cut from this movie. I don't know if it was during rewrites or reshoots or both, but it feels like they had a movie and that's why they greenlit it. And then somewhere along the process, it ended up into being Madam Web, and all the good stuff was gone and all the bad stuff was left in. That's what this movie feels like. But it's actually an okay movie. It's not that terrible. It's it's not unwatchable. I probably would watch this one more time. I actually do kind of like the big final battle end scene when she's finally in control of her powers. How she gets in control of her powers without practicing, and it's all shown off screen. We don't know, whatever. But it's still kind of cool with the tribes people explaining to her she can use her powers to be in multiple places at once. But how do they know that? Do they have these powers? It doesn't make any sense. And how she figures out how to use them. But I still think it's kind of cool where she's she's like, "Hey, duck here. Hey, duck there. Watch out for that." That's all kind of cool stuff that works for me. The fact that the villain just gets crushed by a Pepsi logo is kind of pretty lame. And then Cassie falls in the water and a firework shoots at her eyes, and that's how she ended up blind. Those things are kind of the silly stupidness of it should be the two of them. She should absolutely be the one killing him, and he should be the one blinding her. It should be the back and forth between them. But other than that, I actually think it's kind of cool with the fireworks shooting everywhere. I just like that. Yeah. And then somehow she ends up in a wheelchair. Why? I don't know how that happened either. Maybe the firework hit her back too. I don't know. So she ends up in a wheelchair and she's blind at the end, and then she has some terrible line delivery, and you can kind of tell this was maybe last minute reshoot scenes that were oh, we actually have to put Madam Web, the actual comic book Madam Web, into the movie. And they brought Dakota Johnson back, and she's like, "I am completely over this. I am just gonna say these words without even acting." And she's like, "I can see better than I have ever seen," or something like that. It's kind of bad. and then these girls they become, we're never told how they ever become superheroes in the future, and we only get these little glimpses, the flashbacks in his dream, and then clearly something that was also shot afterwards of them brief glimpses fighting crime in the future. And that's what the movie should be about. We should have these girls in these outfits fighting crime. It should start with that. It should start with a big scene of them fighting crime or whatever they're doing, and they run into Ezekiel, And then he dies, and then boom, like we get a flashback, and he's like, whoa, that's my future. I better go get these girls. Like something. They got to give us something. This movie doesn't have anything. And so yeah, it is pretty bad. I see why people don't like it. And I have not seen Morbius, so I cannot say it's better or worse than Morbius. I haven't seen it yet. But because I've heard Madam Web is almost so bad it's good, I really wanted to check it out. And it kind of does fall into that category where it's almost so bad that it's kind of good. Like, you kind of just want to, like, watch it and make fun of it the whole time. And that's kind of fun. And that's kind of a little bit of what I did. So, yeah, there's some good moments in here. There's a lot of bad stuff going on. The movie just doesn't make any sense. But, yeah, it's worth a watch, I think, once. Just to kind of see, like, yeah, is it that bad? Or is it, like, so bad that it's actually kind of fun. And I think it's so bad it's actually a little bit fun. So, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on Madam Web. I can't say it's a good movie, but I enjoyed watching it because it's kind of hilarious about how those ADR lines are terrible, but so funny. And then, yeah, so anyways, that's Madam Web. How this movie ended up on the big screen and getting released, nobody knows. Like I said, I think they had a solid idea at first. Like, somebody came up with a great concept, and then just, like, along the way it got chipped off, and we ended up with this. So, those are my thoughts on Madam Web. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's just really bad? Do some of you actually think it's a good movie? Or most of you may be like, it's kind of so bad that it's kind of good in a way? Who knows? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Be sure to stick to the channel for more content. Like I said, I've got more videos coming out and reviews. Fallout show, loving it. So anyway, so stick to the channel. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, let's try that again. And until next time, bye.